Today, I want to explore a topic that has gained a lot of momentum in the hiring world. That is AI in recruitment. Recently, I read an article about Chipotle's experiment with an AI program named Ava to help with hiring. And it got me really thinking about how is AI changing the recruitment game? Is it all positive or are there potential downsides we need to watch out for? I'm going to break down some pros and cons and even share a few tips on how we can work with AI effectively, whether you're a recruiter, a business owner, or a job seeker. So I've got my screen shared here. And as you see, it says that Chipotle turns to AI hiring platform to screen job applicants. They are doing this to get a better hold of their hiring process. It says Chipotle Mexican Grill job applicants better get used to conversing with AI. Their first interview could be with our artificial intelligence powered system named Ava Cotto, rather than an actual hiring manager that's a human. The fast food Mexican restaurant chain said Tuesday that it is partnering with Paradox, a maker of what the technology company calls conversational AI, to launch the new hiring platform. They feel that by collecting basic information about candidates, that Ava will free up restaurant managers to really focus on the task that they need to for the company rather than spending so much time doing initial pre-screenings. The AI can also schedule interviews and even make job offers in real time. The company said that they can, that's what the Ava will be able to do. The new technology really is expected to reduce the amount of time that it takes Chipotle to hire an employee for in-restaurant positions by as much as what they think is going to be probably about 75% is what they're expecting. They plan to deploy the system across more than 3,500 restaurants located in North America and Europe. The technology is currently being introduced at restaurants in a phase approach that's expected to be complete by the end of October. In addition, Ava can engage with job applicants, answer their questions about the company, and so forth. So, what's happening at Chipotle? They've started using Ava, the AI system designed to help screen job applicants. It is part of their strategy to reduce hiring time and ensure they're finding the right candidates for their restaurants faster. AI in recruitment is becoming more common. So let's break down what's good about it and what might not be so good. So, what are some of the cons of using AI in the hiring process? Efficiency and speed. That's number one. In my experience, talking with hiring managers and business leaders, that's probably the number one reason that they use it. One of the biggest advantages, of course, in hiring is that the speed that it brings to the process. AI can really analyze hundreds of resumes in a fraction of the time that it takes a human to do it, a human recruiter to do it. And for companies like Chipotle, who need to fill a large number of roles quickly, this can really be a game changer for them. You can imagine cutting down a hiring process that would typically take weeks, and now they're doing it within just a few days. The second reason or second pro is the cost savings. With AI handling the bulk of the resume screening, companies can save on the cost associated with human labor and time spent on the initial phase of hiring. This can be especially beneficial for companies operating at a scale like Chipotle does, where efficiency is really key to staying competitive in your industry. And then bias reduction is also a pro. One of the benefits of AI is its ability to really reduce bias towards someone. When set up correctly, the AI focus on qualifications, it focuses on skills and experience of the candidate without being influenced by personal identifiers, obviously like race or their gender or their age. And this can lead to a more diverse pool of candidates getting through the first round of pre-screening. Another pro to this is the data-driven decisions. AI can analyze not just resumes, but also patterns of successful employees that is helping to predict which candidates will thrive in a specific role. It uses data from past hires to refine its selection process, and that is improving accuracy over time. So now let's switch gears a little bit. Let's talk about some of the cons in this. I've seen this quite a bit with some of our clients, some of the cons that we're going to go over. I've seen probably more cons within my client base than I have seen pros. So we're going to cover some of those. Number one is the over reliance on keywords. This is a big one. Now, AI, flip the side of speed is that AI may be too rigid in its selection process. It often relies on specific keywords or structured data to identify the right candidate. And this can lead to excellent candidates being overlooked if their resume doesn't contain the exact phrases that AI is trained to look for. It happens all the time. I see it so often. So, for example, someone with relevant skills might use different terminology, and that is not going to make it past the first round because that terminology, the AI is not identifying that terminology. Another con is the potential for bias. While AI aims to reduce bias, it's not completely foolproof. At least not yet. It may be in the future, but it definitely is not at this time. If the system is trained on biased data or reflects historical hiring patterns that favor certain groups, it could actually reinforce existing biases instead of eliminating them. And this is a major concern. If the AI's learning process isn't transparent, it can become a black box, making biased decisions without us even knowing why. AI, if you've used it, you know that AI, it sees patterns and it goes with those patterns. And it's only changes when we ask it to change it. Another con is the lack of the human touch. This is a big one for me because I am a recruiter and I deal with people all day long. I'm constantly talking to people. I feel like this is a really key thing. Let's not forget the human side of the hiring process. AI does not have the intuition or the ability to gauge a cultural fit, to gauge the team dynamics or the passion of the candidate that the candidate might bring to the job. These are things that often come out in personal interactions, something that AI cannot replicate. It will probably never be able to replicate that. So we don't want to lose that human touch. And then another con is the candidate experience. For job seekers, interacting with AI can sometimes feel very impersonal. It can be very frustrating. People are already anxious about finding a job, and the idea of being judged by a machine can just add to the stress and leave candidates feeling disconnected from the process. So, what are some tips that we can use? What are tips for using AI in hiring efficiency? Excuse me. For businesses, I would say balance AI with human oversight. AI can be a great tool to help with the early stages of the hiring process, but it should never replace human judgment entirely. Make sure that there's a balance between what AI screens and what a human recruiter reviews. AI should be a tool and not a final decision maker. You also want to make sure that you are regularly auditing your AI system to ensure that they're not unintentionally introducing any type of bias. Again, it goes back to it sees certain patterns, and when it learns those patterns, we have to break that pattern if it's wrong. It's not going to naturally break it. So make sure the data they're trained on is diverse and that the algorithms are transparent and explainable. Also, if you focus on candidate experience, be mindful of how candidates interact with your AI driven system. Provide clear communication and let candidates know what to expect. Adding a personal touch, like an email or a follow up from a recruiter after the AI screening, can help the candidates stay engaged, become engaged, and stay engaged. So, what are some tips for job seekers? We want to optimize your resume for AI. This can be very tricky. If you're applying to a company that uses AI, and you may or may not know, if you know for sure that they're using AI, you want to pay attention to the job description and use relevant keywords in your resume. So even if you don't know that they're using AI, I would really pay close attention to this, because you can change up your resume based on those keywords. And the AI is going to recognize that. It's going to see that the job description says we need someone who has experience with accounts payable. You need to make sure that your resume says accounts payable, not AP. The AI is not going to recognize AP. It's going to recognize that accounts payable that is written in that job description. So it's important to make sure that your experience aligns and your keywords align with what AI might be looking for. You also want to showcase your soft skills. AI may focus heavily on hard skills and experience, but it's important to demonstrate your soft skills during interviews or later stages of the process. Make sure that you highlight teamwork, your leadership, and adaptability when you get the chance to actually speak to a human recruiter. Really target on those soft skills. Now, I want to hear from you. Do you think AI is the future of hiring? Have you experienced the pros and cons firsthand, either as a hiring manager or a job seeker? What can we do to make sure we're getting the best of both worlds, speed and efficiency, without losing that human element? So share your thoughts in the comment. Let's get conversation started. Let's see where it goes. Again, this is going to be something that's going to benefit not only the hiring managers, but job seekers as well. Would love to hear from you. So please put your comments below. Give your honest opinion. I look forward to reading those. Thanks so much for watching, and I will see you all soon.